back to the channel. Today we are going to chat about how we paid off our mortgage in under 10 years. I know I still can't believe it, especially when I look back at our income and how low it was in those first 5 years. I did share a video about 3.5 years ago about our plan. And in that video, I shared an online calculator that you can use. And when you use that calculator, you can put in your balance, you can put in the term, how long you want it to be, 10 years for us. And it will tell you how much you need to pay off each year if you want to achieve that goal. And that's what we did. And then I took that yearly amount and then divided it by 12. And then I just made sure each month that we're paying that amount off. It worked, obviously, because we achieved our goal. Now, for context, we purchased our home in Brisbane back in 2016, and we paid $525,000 for the house, which was below market value because I would say that this house was owned by a crazy, hoarding cat lady who liked to smoke inside. So it wasn't pretty. And there was a lot of work to be done. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, great. Yep, it'd be awesome to be able to buy a house for $525K. I could definitely pay that off in 10 years. But when we bought for $525,000 10 years ago, we thought that was a lot of money. I looked at people who had bought 10 years earlier and thought, oh my God, that is so cheap. Now I'm thinking, even though it's quite scary, that in 10 years' time, people will be saying the same thing about people who bought today. So just keep that in mind. Now, as I said, we didn't earn as much as we always did. So especially in those first years, I was either on maternity leave or I was working part-time. My husband was working in his own business, and we fell in that business trap of paying himself less because it meant less tax, but it didn't do us any justice now looking back. And actually, I remember when we got this mortgage, the bank only just let us get this loan amount because obviously we weren't paying him enough. And now I can see why the bank wouldn't let us borrow anymore or keep our unit, which I wanted to be an investment property, which I'm a little bit dirty on because it has done so well since we sold it, but oh well. Hi, Future Lee here, editing the video, realizing that I missed out a huge chunk of the video, the part where I share about my husband's income. So the first year it was just under $34,000. Then in the next 3 years, it went up, and over those 3 years, it was around the $60,000 mark. And then we went up to $73,000. Then we went just over $100,000. And in those last few years, it was around the $120 mark. So there it is. Now I'm going to share with you how much we paid off each year. But believe it or not, as someone who has a motto of, if you can track it, I will track it, I actually couldn't find all of my spreadsheets from the past 10 years. So some of the years have been combined, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. Okay, so where are we at now? In the first 3 years, we paid off $24,300 off the mortgage principal. And that worked out to be about $8,100 each year. So this was when I was either on maternity leave or working part-time. Year 4 wasn't much more. It was $10,800. And during this time, we were also investing in the stock market. So we weren't putting all of our savings into the mortgage. So then there was a bit of a change. Interest rates started going up. We decided that we wanted to pay more of our mortgage. Prior to this, we had just started debt recycling. Some people might call it borrowing to invest. And I can make a video about that if you would like. So our income also increased. So in years 5 and 6, we paid off $116,000 off the loan. So that was an average of $58,000 for the year. This was because our income had increased and we were just focusing on paying off the mortgage because of the interest rate rises. In year 7, we paid off similar, $54,363 off the loan. And then from here on, we're paying a little bit more because our youngest started school. I was able to work more days. And this also coincided with my teaching partner going overseas. So I either had to work more days or find a new teaching partner, and I didn't want to do that. So off I went, working actually a 9-day fortnight, still needed a day off. So that means in year 8, we paid off $86,740 off the mortgage principal. And then year 9 was a big one. We paid off $107,000 off the mortgage principal. Now, you might not agree with this, but we also took $30K from our emergency fund and put it into the mortgage. My thinking was all of this money was going into an offset account anyway. We could draw back on it if we wanted to, although definitely did not want to. But then we also had our Best Life fund, which generally kind of can work as an emergency fund as well, because our Best Life fund generally has about $20,000 in it. And the purpose of that account is to not have money stress, really. Live our best life without money stress. So if an emergency came up, then we can just use money from the Our Best Life fund. Emergency fund went into the mortgage as well. And so that means in the last year, well, the last 10 months, we only had $16,000 left to pay off the mortgage. And then this also coincided with me working less days because my teaching partner came back. And that's a good thing because that means I get to create more content for you guys. So let me know what video I should do next. If it should be the debt recycling one or something else, let me know. Otherwise, catch you next time.